So this video is basically an introspective of what I've learned over the last 25 years of web development experience. And I can tell you right now what a lot of people are stressing about doesn't actually matter in the long run from a career perspective. So what does really matter? What is the stuff that's going to keep you employed, keep you and your skills in demand and ahead of the technology curve? Let's talk about it. So there's this myth that you got to keep up with everything, and especially in tech interviews. And it's been a long time since I've done any of those, but I remember interviewing people, especially, and that question: "What do you like to do in your free time?" And of course, it's the kiss-ass answer of, "Well, I like to stay up on trends by reading tech magazines and blogs and all that." And you're like, first of all, no, you don't. But second of all, maybe you shouldn't be stressing about learning every new framework or jumping on the latest tech trend. Keeping up with tech is absolutely important and it's good, but chasing trends is a losing game. Frameworks come and go. The popular language this year might not be the popular language next year. It's the problem solving skills. Those are what are going to stick with you. Those are the things that are going to keep you employed, keep you in demand, and keep you ahead of the curves, because if you can solve problems, nobody cares the tools you use to get them done. And by that, I don't mean that certain projects don't have certain specs, but in terms of maintaining employment and demand in the marketplace, if you can solve problems, you'll probably always have a job. So what are the skills that actually matter? Well, I'm going to argue one is problem solving over syntax. Nobody hires you just because you know, say, JavaScript. They hire you because you can fix a problem for them. Debugging, understanding the requirements, and translating needs into working code, that's what you've got to do. And again, all the person who's hiring you cares about really is whether or not you can solve their problem, make their lives easier, complete a solution, and so on. And then there's understanding business needs. Why business context even matters. And that's really about understanding why a feature is built, not just how to code it. And more importantly, if you're in a consulting role, it might be why a feature shouldn't be built, why an integration might make business more complicated and not easier. And if you understand what makes your organization or your client or even your own business money, then, well, you'll always have a job. Communications and managing expectations. Now, so this is the one where I feel like most people fall flat. I'm certainly guilty of this as well. And this is basically keeping it in your head at all times that non-technical people do not care about code. They just want results. The best developers out there aren't just technical nerds, but they can explain things that don't sound super techie nerdy and basically like an arrogant know-it-all. And there's writing maintainable code. Now, we all know developers are like cats. We take a look at one developer's code and the first thing we say is I wouldn't have done it that way. But what's most important is that the next developer can at least understand what is happening within the code set. What is the goal? What is the output? And as long as you write maintainable code that works today, then it will probably work and last longer into the future. So there's a saying, write code for your future self, meaning you don't want to untangle that spaghetti down the road. Also think about being that developer who has to open the hood on your project that you're working on today. What are they going to say? Will they be cursing your name? Or will they be thanking you because everything is well documented, well structured, and so on? And finally, here's a big one: knowing when to say no. Saying yes is easy. It's what people want to hear. And this is what leads to scope creep, burnout, and bad projects. And this is a whole skill of its on its own, and it's probably why we have project managers in our industry. But as a developer, you can't just solely rely on a project manager, because it's still your job to understand the project from a code level and you know keep things reasonable. So when there's scope creep, there's got to be calendar creep, and you've got to protect yourself from burnout, and you got to know when a project is going sour and deal with it immediately rather than wait until there are hard feelings on all sides. Sometimes the smartest move is just walking away. Just walk away from a bad idea before it even becomes your problem. That's a skill I wish I was better at. After all these years of doing this, I have to ask myself, what really matters in web development? It's not memorizing every framework, it's not chasing the trends, but it's problem solving, it's business sense, and it's communications. And those are all things I'm working on every day, every week, every month. I don't think those are things we ever become fully just absolute experts on. That those things are always a work in progress. Tech changes incredibly fast, especially nowadays. But these are the skills that are going to keep you relevant and in it for the long haul.